Deep Dive is back, and today we are tackling what is really the true backbone of Western musical organization, key signatures.
We really are. We're going straight to the foundational theory. This is level 8 and 9 material to build, a mental map of tonality.
And for anyone who has ever struggled to just quickly identify a key signature, this deep dive is sort of your shortcut to fluency.
I think so. Key signatures are the essential roadmap of music. They don't just tell us what a piece sounds like. They tell us precisely which notes matter most and which ones need to be altered throughout the entire piece.
So our mission is pretty straightforward. We need to define what this tiny, powerful cluster of symbols actually does.
Right, and internalize the logic of sharps and flats. There's a strict logic to it.
Then we'll learn the two simple, almost magical rules for decoding any major key, and then place all of this onto that beautiful, complete structure of the circle of fifths.
It's all connected, and it really starts with what is a key signature. When you first open a piece of sheet music, whether it's Bach or a new pop arrangement, the key signature is right there at the beginning.
Immediately after the clef, the treble or the bass clef.
And while it looks small, our sources confirm it's doing two massive, indispensable jobs.
Okay, so the first one is it's more broad, more conceptual.
It is. It indicates the key or tonality of the music. It gives us a gravitational center, telling us which pitch is, the ultimate resting point, the tonic.
So is the piece built around C or F sharp or maybe E flat? That's the first thing it tells you.
The second function is completely practical. It's for the performer. It says which notes across the entire composition automatically get sharps or flats.
So you don't need constant reminders in every single measure.
None at all. Unless there's another accidental inside a measure that cancels it, every single F in the piece will be an F sharp, no matter which octave it's in.
And the baseline for all of this, so sort of ground zero, is C major.
The only key signature with no sharps and no flats. It's the starting point.
The moment we step away from C, though, we get chromatic alteration. And that means we need rules. There's a rigid, almost mathematical structure here.
Oh, absolutely. The order of sharps and flats is never, ever random. It's fixed. It's built on the physics of intervals.
Okay, so let's break down the sharps first. What's the logic?
The sharps are always written in the same non-negotiable sequence. This is what we call the order of sharps. F, C, G, D, A, E, B.
And this is where those little memory tricks, the mnemonics, come in so handy. The one our source gives is fat cats go down alleys eating bologna.
And it works, but it's more than just a trick. The fascinating thing is why this order exists. If you start on C and move up a perfect fifth, you land on G.
Okay.
While the G major scale needs just one accidental to sound correct, an F sharp.
I see.
If you go up another perfect fifth from G, you land on D. And the D major scale needs two accidentals. The F sharp from before and a new C sharp.
Ah, I see the pattern now. So moving in perfect fifths naturally generates the need for one new sharp at a time in that specific order.
Precisely. F sharp leads to C sharp leads to G sharp, and on and on. The logic is self-generating. It's efficient. If a key has four sharps, without even thinking, that they have to be F, C, G, and D.
What's great is that once you've put in the work to memorize that sharp order, the flat order is, well, it's basically free.
It requires no new learning, just a simple reversal.
So the order of flats is just the exact inverse.
Yep. If sharps are F, C, G, D, E, B, then flats run B, E, A, G, C, F.
Which gives us that other mnemonic, bead gum candy fruit.
And knowing just those two lists means you can write out any key signature all the way up to 7 accidentals.
Okay, so we have the accidentals. Now we need the rules to actually, decode them. How do you look at a cluster of 3 sharps and just instantly know the major key?
Let's start with the sharps. They have a brilliant and very direct rule.
It's all about relative pitch.
Exactly. To find the major key for any key signature with sharps, you first have to find the last sharp. That's the one written furthest to the right on the staff.
Got it. The last one.
Once you find that note, you just move up 1/2 step, a semitone, that note you land on. That's the name of the major key.
Okay, let's do a quick example. That always helps lock it in. Say we see 5 sharps. We know from our mnemonic that they are F, C, G, D, and A. The last one, the one on the far right, is A sharp.
So if A sharp is the last sharp, we move up 1 single 1/2 step.
Which takes us to B.
So the key is B major. That's it. That's all there is to it. The note right above the final sharp is always the key.
Perfect. Now the flat rule. This is the one that really feels like a party trick. It's so visual.
It's arguably even simpler. To find the major key from a signature with 2 or more flats, you just name the next to last flat.
That's it.
That note is the major key.
That's amazing. So let's take three flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat.
Okay.
We identify the last flat, which is A flat, but we actually look at the one right before it. The next to last flat.
Which is E flat. And the key is E flat major.
Wow. Why does that work?
Well, it's because of how the flats are generated. Every new flat you add is establishing the fourth scale degree of the new key. That means the tonic, the key name, is always the flat that came right before it in the sequence.
That makes so much sense. The next to last flat is the key because the last flat is just setting up the new scale. But hang on, you said this works for keys with two or more flats?
Right.
That brings us to the one exception, the outlier that every music student just has to memorize.
That would be F major. F major has only one flat, B flat.
So the next to last flat rule can't apply. There's nothing before the B flat.
Exactly. F major is the pivot point where we transition from the sharp side of things over to the flat side.
So to recap, C major has 0 accidentals. F major has 1 flat, B flat. And everything else falls neatly under one of those two rules.
The half step up rule for sharps or the next to last flat rule.
Now that we've got the geography of the major keys, we need to understand their partners.
Indeed. We know how to decode any major key, but we have to remember that every major key has a corresponding minor key that shares the exact same key signature.
They're called relative major and minor keys.
Exactly.
This is so critical. C major has no sharps or flats, but then A minor also has no sharps or flats. They use the same 7 notes, but they organize them around a different tonal center.
And to find that relative minor, you just start on the major tonic and count down 3 half steps.
Let's try an example. What about D major? That one has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp.
Okay, so we start on D. We count down 3 half steps.
D down to C sharp is 1. C sharp down to C is 2. C down to B is 3.
B is the relative minor. So if you see a piece of music with 2 sharps, you know instantly that the key is either D major or B minor.
The key signature only gives you the framework, the pool of available notes.
Right.
This brings us to the application part, CLO5. If the signature doesn't give us the final answer, how do you tell the difference when you look at the notes?
That's where you have to look for harmonic clues. Most importantly, you look for specific accidentals that signal you're in a minor key. Minor keys often use a raised 7th scale degree.
The leading tone.
The leading tone, exactly. It creates a strong pull toward the minor tonic. This note, which is written as an accidental inside the music, is the telltale sign that you're in minor.
Can you give us a concrete example?
Certainly. Let's take E minor. It's the relative minor of G major, so it has 1 sharp, F sharp.
Okay.
The 7th note of an E minor scale is D. In the music, you will very often see a D sharp, especially right before a chord or note of E.
But D sharp isn't in the key signature.
It's not, but it's essential for that minor key sound. Seeing that raised 7th, that D sharp, confirms that we're resolving to the minor center E, even though the key signature just says 1 sharp.
That's a huge insight. So the key signature is the rule book, but the accidental's inside the measures. That's the composer showing you which rules they're focusing on, major or minor.
It's the framework, yes. And now that we have all the pieces, we need the ultimate map to put it all together.
The circle of fifths.
The circle of fifths, sometimes called the circle of keys. It is truly one of the most beautiful, elegant pieces of organization in all of theory.
It visually represents the relationship between every single major and minor key. It's all there in one diagram.
And it's organized by ascending and descending perfect fifths. We put C major at the very top, at the 12 o'clock position, because it's our neutral key, 0 accidentals.
And if we move clockwise from there, we're going up by perfect fifths, C to G, G to D, D to A, and so on.
Crucially, with each step you take clockwise, you add 1 sharp.
And you added in that F, C, G, D, A, E, B order we established earlier.
That's right. So G major is 1 sharp, F sharp. Next step, D major is 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. You can literally watch the sharp order fill itself in as you move around the circle.
And then if you go counterclockwise from C, you're going down by fifths or up by fourths, and you're adding flats.
The first step is F major with 1 flat, B flat. The next step is B flat major with 2 flats, B flat and E flat.
This is where the organization it really shines.
Yeah.
The circle perfectly maps out every single combination of key signatures all the way to the maximum of 7.
And at the very bottom of the circle, we find the keys with the densest clusters of accidentals, 5, 6, 7 sharps or flats.
Which is where we run straight into enharmonic equivalents. These are points on the circle where 2 keys sound exactly the same, but they're spelled differently.
The system forces this duality. For example, if you go far enough clockwise with sharps, you'll land on C sharp major, which has 7 sharps.
Okay.
But if you go far enough counterclockwise with flats, you'll land on D flat major with 5 flats.
And you, the listener, should remember that C sharp and D flat are the same exact key on a piano. They sound identical.
They do, and the rules prove it works. For F sharp major, the last sharp is E sharp. A half step up from E sharp is F sharp. For G flat major, the next to last flat is G flat. Both rules generate keys that use the same sounds. It confirms the whole system is complete.
It's phenomenal, really. We started this deep dive with a mission for fluency, and I think we've gotten there. We know the key signature is the foundational signpost telling us the tonality and the active accidentals.
That's CLO1. And we have the ironclad interval-based rules for writing sharps and flats, our mnemonics.
That's CLO2. Then we mastered the quick decoding rules, up a half step from the last sharp or just name the next to last flat for major keys.
That's CLO3. And crucially, we now understand that major and minor keys are linked by 3 half steps, that relative relationship.
So every key signature really contains 2 potential tonal homes, which is CLO4. And you have to check the music itself for clues, like that raised 7th to be sure. That's CLO5.
And finally, the majestic circle of fifths gives us the complete geographical map for all these relationships, organizing every possible tonality. CLO6.
It's just elegant.
It is. But what's really fascinating here is that while the system gives us 12 distinct tonal centers, the need for both sharps and flats forces us to use those enharmonic equivalents like F sharp major and G flat major. So if the goal of music theory is organization and clarity, what does it imply about composing that there are multiple valid ways to name the exact same tonal center?
That's a great question.
It raises a final thought for you to consider. Does knowing 2 names for the same key signature offer a composer harmonic flexibility, maybe allowing for smoother key changes in notation, or is it merely an inconvenient byproduct of needing to maintain those perfect fifth relationships across the entire closed system?